right. And I know we want to also take some time, Mark. One of the things Mark Stiles is passionate about, he's passionate about a lot of things. You know Mark Stiles, Stiles Law, Route 139, Marshfield. One of the things on the list, estate planning. That's a big one. And let's talk a little bit about, why you have been so passionate about this based on your experiences.
Well, again, it's the checking of the box, right? So I'm feeling good about having completed my taxes, and a lot of people are the same, right? They're checking that box. We got it done. Let's move on. But some people have the open box of the estate planning, right? And a lot of people want to check that box. I want to be able to know that what is going to happen in the future is what I am hoping happens in the future, right? But without planning, that can't happen. So I wanted to share my story actually about why I'm so passionate about this. And it's a true life story, and it's a comparison with a friend of mine. I've helped a gentleman who's in the mortgage industry named Mark Mayoka. And he wrote a book called Core 7. We talk about teams, right? We talk about making sure that every person is surrounded by an insurance professional, a financial professional, a tax professional, a real estate professional, a mortgage professional, surrounded by them so that they know that they're covered when it comes to these certain things. This is not these, none of these are do-it-yourself types of professions, right? You have to have people who know what they're doing to help you, and you have to ask for that help. And we did a story together. We called it The Tale of Two Fathers. Both Mark and I's father died very young. His father died of cancer at the age of, he was 17. His father was in the early 50s. I was 20 when my father passed at the young age of 54, which I'm looking right down the road at 54 now. But the differences were vast. Mark's parents owned a property and casualty insurance agency, but they didn't have any life insurance. My father was a dentist. He had life insurance, and he had proper planning, and he had a team around him to make sure that the life insurance went into a trust, a revocable trust, so that my mother was going to be okay after he left. Now compare that to my friend Mark, whose parents were property and casualty insurance agents. They owned an agency, but they didn't have life insurance. It's the story of the cobbler's kid doesn't have shoes, right? So their story was vastly different. Mark's mother struggled for years as he was and his sister were working through their college education in their early years. She was working multiple jobs, making sure that the mortgage was paid, as opposed to my mother, who had a life insurance proceeds that went into a trust with specific directives to make certain that all of her needs were taken care of. She's now 86 years old and has never had to worry about finances because my father planned with a team. So when we talk about estate planning, it affects me to the core because I know what can happen if it's done correctly. But I also know the tragedies, the multi-generational tragedies that can happen if it's not done. So we encourage folks to sit back in these times when all of their paperwork is available. They've recently handled their taxes, so everything is in an organized manner. And we encourage them to get with the financial advisor professionals to put a plan together, a big global plan of their future. What are their goals, their wishes, their aspirations? And of course, estate planning is part of that. Estate planning is part of the financial plan. What do you want to happen going forward? And those financial professionals work with us very closely so that we're all rowing in the same direction and that we can effectually execute on what the plan would be. So with my story, I'd like to share so that somebody will hear that, and we can help make certain that the scenario is more like my father's than my friend's father's.
All right, Mark Stiles, Stiles Law. And we've been talking specifically here about estate planning, and that's why Mark is so passionate about it, and he wants to get the word out. And you can get in touch with Stiles Law, Route 139 Marshfield, stiles-law.com. And people can also call Mark at the office. Mark, people can get in touch with you.
Call us at 781-319-1900. Again, 781-319-1900, and our concierge will put you in touch with the appropriate attorney.
Thanks,
But
Mark.
call us first. We can help. If we don't work directly with that type of law practice, we can save you a lot of time and energy by placing you in the trusted hands of someone who does.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Mark Stiles, Stiles Law, Feel Good Friday on WATD. Thank you, Mark. Have a good weekend.
You too, Rob. Have a great week, everybody.